If you've been on a weight loss journey and have noticed that your clothes aren't fitting quite right anymore, and if you're wondering what kind of clothing would best suit your new body, I have some answers for you from what I've looked into myself personally over the past few years.
Okay.
There's a man named David Kibbe, and he is a New York stylist, and he wrote this book called Metamorphosis back in the 80s. It's all about style, and it's very, very outdated. So I'm not saying go out and read this book because, you know, the 80s fashion was very unique and strange and not really flattering to many people.
No.
So I used to just wear jeans and t-shirts. Remember? That was literally all I would wear is jeans and t-shirts.
Of course, I could never forget. She wore jeans and t-shirts to her wedding shower. Everyone else is dressed up. I went to pick her up. And I was stunned. Now, this was years ago.
That was very
Not being
ago.
ugly. This is a true story.
Now I was what, like 22? 22, 23?
Yeah, somewhere right in there when you married, I guess. I was just picked her up. I couldn't believe what she was wearing. We get to the party and yes, everyone is dressed nicely.
I wore my nice jeans and my nice t-shirt. That was my fancy outfit.
Yeah, it was terrible. I remember. Nobody said anything but me to her.
Sure.
Is that what you're going to wear?
I've gotten a bit fancier the older I've gotten, and once I learned about my body type and how to actually dress it, like for my particular type, skinny jeans or like very slim fit pants are the best, and I stayed away from those like the plague because I thought it would make me look like an ice cream cone. You know, big hips down the little ankles and then boom on the top. That's how I felt. But that's how I look when I wear hip cut. I have to wear high waist, like almost like beyond my belly button.
Oh, okay. There ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, but that's the most flattering cut for me. Now, my sister is not my body type, and this style looks terrible on her.
Okay.
But the style that looks good on her looks terrible on me. So there really is some truth to this. And it's based on your bone structure and your balance of male and female energy. So at the very masculine edge of it is the dramatic type. So the Swinson or something like that. Yeah. She's a dramatic type. Very angular, very tall, very bony, very straight, long vertical line.
That's very intense.
Very intense, very dramatic, right? So aptly named. And then at the lower end, you have the romantics and the gamines, who are about our height. Okay. The romantics are very round, very voluptuous. They are soft and curvy and fleshy. They're not very dry or very lean. The gamines are more straight, more like a tomboyish figure, but they're a little bit shorter and they have shorter hands and feet, like smaller hands and feet. They're much more petite. You can tell a gamine when you see them because they're very petite.
Okay.
And then in the very middle is the classic, which is about 50% masculine, 50% feminine energy, and that, think Grace Kelly. She is the classic.
Okay.
She's got a very symmetrical body type. It's not overly voluptuous. It's not overly straight and masculine. It's just right. It's right in the middle. So classics have it pretty easy. They can dress in the classic way. You know?
How do you know your bone structure though? If you've been heavy for so many years, I don't know what. I'm round.
Yes.
And oddly shaped in many ways. Are you? I am.
I think we all are.
But some more than others. I am.
Okay.
Weirdly shaped.
Well, you're right. Determining bone structure is a little bit difficult if you're overweight, but it's not impossible. So anyway, we're going to take the test.
Oh.
Yeah, we're going to take the test and see where we fall, okay?
This should be interesting.
Yes. And sometimes it's helpful to have someone else do the test for you, or at least answer the questions, because you may have a bias towards some of the language, like masculine. You know, you might not want to say I have masculine features, but it's okay, and it's subjective, and it may not be right for you. I'm not saying you have to go by this to know how to dress yourself. I'm just saying it's a great place to start to find out what shapes would look best on your particular body, because we're all different. But if you've just found our channel, we don't normally talk about fashion or clothes or makeup or anything like that. We talk about our Christ-centered weight loss journey But along that weight loss journey, you're going to need some new clothes. And so we figured that we would talk about this today.
Yeah.
So if you want to follow our weight loss journey, please subscribe. And if you've already subscribed, we have a Buy Me a Coffee link in the description, and that will help our channel.
Oh, okay.
Every gift is so appreciated. And also, 10% of all of our net income for the year goes to ourdaughtershouse.org, which helps women aging out of the foster care system to avoid homelessness and human trafficking. It establishes them with a life. If they have children, the children come along. It's a wonderful charity, and it's local to us. So that's who we support. And we appreciate it very, very much.
Important.
And I know they do too.
Yeah.
Bone structure. We're talking vertical line.
Vertical.
Up and down. It's not about your height, but how tall you appear to be. So.
You mean in my imagination?
No, just how tall you look in general.
Oh.
Like you can look at someone tall and say, dang, she's tall.
Yeah.
You can look at someone short and say, dang, she's short, right? So we're going to say petite. It is evident to everyone that I am small.
You know, like the lollipop.
So am I.
Small.
All right, shoulders, narrow and sharp.
Oh, no.
Broad, blunt, and bulky.
I have
no.
Yeah, mine
They're
are pretty
not
broad.
They might be broad, but they're also sloped. So you want to look at the slope. Like broad is kind of straight out like this,
right.
and wider. Yours are pretty. I mean, the space between your neck and your shoulder is very small.
Okay.
So I would say, let's see what it is in relation to your hips.
Ooh,
about the
girl,
same. Turn and look in the mirror. I think your hips are slightly wider. So yes.
No, duh.
A little bit narrower.
Yes.
Okay. Arms and legs. Are they elongated and narrow?
No, not mine.
Elongated and broad? Moderate in proportion with my height and upper torso? Slightly shortish? Very short in proportion to my height and upper torso?
I think mine are proportioned. I wouldn't say they're freakishly short. Long.
Are you freakishly short?
Well, I mean, compared to this test, I'm feeling like weird.
I've seen people whose hands, when they come down, come almost to their knees. Like, I would say that is freakishly long hands. And then if they just come right past your waist, that would be short.
Well,
do they fall to the middle of your thigh?
Yeah,
I would say.
I mean, they fall straight to the middle. Like, if we were still wearing dresses to school at the fingertip length, there would be no dress code.
Yeah.
Mine would be, my butt would be showing. Look how short. There's my butt.
Short. Okay, so it's shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
That makes sense.
Hey, you just made it make sense. Good job.
Memory.
All right, so hands and feet.
Tiny.
Teeny tiny.
Got the tiny hands. I got tiny hands.
You do. You have tiny little hands.
Tiny hands. Tiny feet.
I have tiny hands. She has tiny hands. But her hands are still smaller than mine. Isn't that crazy? All right. Tiny little hands.
Yeah.
Okay, body type. Overall shape of the body. Long and lean regardless of height. Broad and muscular. Symmetrical, evenly proportioned. Very shapely, a delicate hourglass. Or very soft, lushly curved, a ripe hourglass.
Oh, that one. That one. Did that test really read that way?
Yeah.
Wow, because that would be the majority of women that I see who are overweight. They would fall into that category versus just hourglass. Because, you know, if you have fat everywhere in different places, you would be that. Right? That's what it sounds like to me. There's only 4 choices.
Well, an hourglass means that you go like this. So a round hourglass would be more like Marilyn Monroe. She had a very round hourglass, and then there's the more delicate sort of hourglass that isn't so pronounced.
Okay.
So if you're overweight and you're heavy in the middle, it's going to be almost impossible.
Wait, then you have hourglass.
Yeah, even when I was very overweight, I still had an hourglass.
You did.
Because I gain everywhere when I gain weight.
So are you saying you are soft hourglass?
I think so.
Because every time I saw April Evers, she's always had hourglass. But not crazy, not like...
No, I don't think I have a very rounded hourglass. I think it's more of like a soft, delicate...
It's very smooth.
But as far as the flesh, on our body? Would you say soft or very dry and hard?
Well, I have both. It's soft and dry.
I don't mean your skin.
Oh. What are you talking about?
Like when you see, okay, like a plum versus a prune, right? A plum is
plum. It's not dried
juicy.
out. It's plum.
Right. It's plump and juicy. And then you have a prune, which is all shriveled up and dried out. So Tilda Swinton is a prune. She's very dry. You know, even if she were dripping wet, she would still look a little dry.
And I'm Violet Beauregard from
body type. After the blueberry?
Yeah, the blueberry.
Okay. Bust line to torso. Lean and taut with small breasts even when overweight. Wide with average breasts, tend to add a little flesh when overweight.
Me.
Moderate even in proportion to my waist and hips. Bust measurement always similar to hips regardless of weight.
Not mine.
Shapely, curved, short torso, tends to add flesh when overweight.
Sheesh.
That's me right there. And then very prominent, lushly curved torso.
Well, you said, because I'm very biased, so you need to tell me what you think on that one, because I said the second one, I'm pretty sure.
The moderate, you said, or did you say wide?
I said wide.
All right.
Wait, I said wide with...
Average.
Average, yes.
Yeah. Tends to add a little flesh when overweight. Okay. Yeah. All right, so waist. Now this is going to be difficult because we're overweight. But we just kind of have to...
And my waist rides high.
Mine's like this. Mine is the length of my hand. I have a very, very short torso. From the bottom of my ribs to the top of my hips is not even my hand. Yeah, it's less than that. So waist. Slim, slender, no distinctly defined waistline. No, that's a boyish figure.
Okay.
You know, like the tall dramatics. They've got that straight line. Slim, straight, no waistline. That's more like athletic. Moderate, slightly defined. Very thin, very defined waistline, or delicate waistline. In comparison to the rest of you.
I don't know. I guess delicate because it's not there, but it's there. Like it moves. It's going to move as you lose weight too, as well.
No, your waist should remain the same.
Right here.
The smallest part of you. Right out here. This is your waist.
Part.
Yeah.
What right I call upper ribs. Abs.
Yeah, right between your ribs and your hips.
I don't know how to answer that for myself. You answer it.
I'd say moderate. Because, again, you don't... Goodness. You don't have that that very defined waistline. But you're not straight either. So, I think moderate in between.
Okay.
Straight, narrow, boyish. Straight, slightly wide. In even proportion to my waistline, bust, and shoulders. Shapely, rounded, very pronounced and distinct from my waistline.
That's me.
Wide, rounded, soft, whatever my weight.
I think it's D for me.
You think your hips are shapely?
Well, bigger than the waistline. Wasn't that the shapely, rounded?
Distinct from my waistline.
Yeah, right? Because they stick out.
Yeah. You're not a straight line.
I have to turn when I walk places. Oh, gosh, I hate it.
Not for long.
Yeah.
All right, so upper arms. We can skip slim and slender. And rather slim but muscular. Moderate, neither extremely soft nor extremely muscular or sinewy. D is rather soft and short, tend to get flabby easily. E is very rounded, slightly wide, and soft, tend to get flabby easily.
Gosh, mine would be D or E. Yours is muscular.
Do you think so? I think mine is D or E.
No, you have muscle.
I do have muscle.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
But I also have flat.
Yeah, but it's more, it's muscle. Me, I'm flat.
Facial bones. Jawline. Is it sharp and very prominent with distinct chin or square? Is it broad and blunt? Is it moderate? Is it delicate, sometimes slightly tapered? Or is it round or wide with soft lines? I'd say it's pretty round. You don't have the chiseled jaw, which I do.
So what is yours?
I'm up at the top. That's a masculine
Gotcha.
trait. Nose. Sharp and prominent, broad, relatively flat and large.
Blob.
Blob. Moderate, neither small or large, delicate and narrow, or delicately outlined, soft lines, often slightly wider.
April, I don't even know. Those are things I've never heard
You definitely
before.
have upturned.
So I do have an upturn.
That's not a choice, so that doesn't help. I would say
Like
moderate.
a ski slope.
I would just say moderate.
Okay.
We have a moderate.
I mean, I don't feel like it's
Mine is not
really big
I
and
wouldn't-
wide.
Mine's not delicate and narrow. It's not overly wide either.
Oh, no,
but it
yours
is
is small.
pointy.
I would never have known unless you had given those two women's names.
Yeah.
I
What
wouldn't
I'm
know.
referring to.
No,
Right.
not at all.
And that's why I've linked the playlist, because the first video is more about makeup, but then the next 3 are more about the Kibbe types. She
Okay.
goes through the test on video, and then she gives a bunch of examples in the following videos to
okay.
explain, which is very, very helpful. I watched a whole bunch of her videos a couple years ago just to get settled for me. All right, cheekbones: high, sharp, and prominent; wide, moderate and symmetrical; delicate, narrow, slightly rounded, or rounded. Mine are kind of high and sharp. I mean, you can see it goes in and back out for my jaw.
Oh no!
They want to give me Botox in my jaw to get rid of my masculine jaw. Let's see, your cheekbones are round. Okay. Oh, we're almost done. All right, eyes. Narrow, straight, or almond shaped, closely spaced. No. Narrow, straight, widely spaced. No. Symmetrical, moderate size and shape, moderately spaced. Rounded or almond shaped, moderately or closely spaced, or round and large.
Sometimes I feel like they're close.
They're more close than wide. I wouldn't
They
say
are.
they're wide at all. Okay, I think we're both going to go with rounded or almond shaped, moderately or closely spaced.
I think that's fair, because I noticed my eyes are close together. And some
Me
people
too.
say never trust people with close together eyes, but I don't understand that.
Never dress them?
No, never trust them.
Oh, never trust them.
Isn't that weird?
Closely
If anybody,
spaced eyes?
yeah, I've heard that for years, and I would look at myself in the mirror and say, well, my eyes are kind of close together.
That's rude.
It's,
That's a rude
it's
stereotype.
very, very, very different.
Lips: straight, narrow, sometimes described as thin-lipped, maybe wider, but not full. Straight, strong, slightly broad, but not full. Moderately shaped, proportional, not overly full, slightly full, or very full.
Mine are not full at all.
So you would say,
Not full, slightly broad.
or moderately shaped. I think you're more, I wouldn't call you thin-lipped.
Okay.
So I'd say you're moderate.
Well, I have seen thin-lipped, and I wouldn't say that
And I'd
either.
say I'm slightly full.
Yes.
All right, bones: flesh. So not the bone structure, but the actual fleshiness of your face, which I have lost over time. All right, taut and flat even when overweight. Nope. Let's move on down. Moderate, softly outlined, soft and rounded, maybe extremely full with excess weight, or delicate and rounded even when you're thin.
Wow, I have extremely full. Because when I smile, I mean,
Yeah, my cheeks used to touch my glasses and now they don't anymore because I'm all old.
mine just did.
All right, I think you're soft gamine. I know that I am theatrical romantic. I have predominantly E's and D's, but I do have a few A's, which is sharpness. The videos are much better to explain this. This is just at the end of the test, what they give you. So I'll read soft gamine versus theatrical romantic. A soft Gambian woman has a rounder physique, hands and feet are plump, bone structure is stronger, eyes are large and round like Betty Davis eyes, the lips are full, and the cheeks resemble 2 halves of an apple. A theatrical romantic woman is smaller and her curves are softer. The hands and feet are much narrower, as is the entire bone structure. The eyes are also quite round but slightly slanting. The lips are not as full. The cheekbones are much sharper and more expressive.
And when you said Betty Davis, I thought of whatever happened to Baby Jane. She's crazy in that movie. And I don't, her eyes are crazy.
That's funny.
She got a crazy eye.
I put a link to that test in the description, as well as a link to Allie Art's whole playlist on this. I've watched hours and hours and hours of it. She also has a Pinterest board with all the different types. So once you nail down what you think you might be, or at least maybe your top 2, you can go to those boards and see a lot of different bodies that are categorized as this particular thing. So it kind of gives you an idea.
Okay.
Like, for example, a natural type is like Cindy Crawford.
Mm-hmm.
She's blunt, she's bigger, she was still small, she was slim, but a very athletic build. And the naturals tend to be a more athletic build. Not quite so soft, but also not quite so sharp.
Is that what Emily is?
Yeah, my sister. She's a natural, I think soft natural, not sure. You know, it's hard to pin down. But I have found, don't you think that my fashion has improved over the past few years?
Well, yes, it has.
I'm still casual. I still wear leggings like 100% of the time. Legging shorts, but that's the slim cut that looks good on me. The thing that doesn't look good on me is like voluminous skirts or any kind of maxi dress. Oh my goodness. A maxi dress is a moo-moo on me.
Oh, I see.
I have to have waist emphasis because my vertical line is so short. I just look, you know, all squat. But if you add some vertical line or some waist emphasis, it makes me look more normal. So, you know, you enhance the features that are good for your body type, and you sort of diminish the problem areas when you dress for your body type. So I hope this has helped you have confidence that as you lose the weight, it won't be so overwhelming to choose clothing that is good for you. And especially with Amazon Prime, you can just order stuff, try them on, it doesn't work, send it back, you know, super duper easy. We are each unique and we are all beautiful. So don't hate your hips or anything else like that. You gotta love yourself because God made you this way on purpose. We just have to learn how to accentuate the good and diminish the bad. Right? That's what it's all about. Because ain't nobody perfect. Even if you think they are, they're not. Right?
I know, but I look at some women's bodies and think, oh my goodness, they have such a great, perfect outline.
Yeah, well, the type, like the example for my type is Selma Hayek.
She has a beautiful body too.
She
oh
does.
My goodness.
So yeah, talk about being jelly. I used to have more volume up top, but I burned it off. Which is fine, you know. I'd rather be where I am now and flatter than there, because it brings back problems. Remember, I used to have such terrible back problems.
Well, and as we're doing this just now, I keep thinking to myself, even my posture has improved.
Yes.
And it's almost natural that it, because before I really had to think about how I was standing, but standing here today, it's just natural. My body falling naturally where it needs to go. Shoulders are back and down, neck is up. You know, I'm not saying, oh, look at me, I'm doing a model pose. I'm just, for myself, I can feel the difference. I can tell. And I'm liking it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's rejoice in those things.
Yes.
So hey, here's another video you might enjoy. And please don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, stay beautiful, friends.